So after my first retrospective on this game, I thought that was it. But look who got a sequel! That's right, it's Backyard Wrestling Round 2. So after the massive success of Backyard Wrestling Don't Try This at Home, the developers at Eidos decided to give it a second go. It's Backyard Wrestling 2, there goes the neighborhood. Alright, before we get into the negatives of this game, let's get into the positives. The roster. The roster in this game actually isn't that bad. You got the Insane Clown Posse, New Jack, the Sandman, Zandig, Vic Grimes. Well, actually, no, I don't think anyone could put Vic Grimes. Sanjay Dutt, and of course, Andrew WK. The point is that the roster is a lot better than the last one. So what has changed since we last covered Backyard Wrestling 1 Don't Try This at Home? Well, the gameplay is different. There's a new story mode, a new soundtrack, and that's pretty much it. So the gameplay in this game has considerably slowed down. It seems like the developers got the memo that the game was too fast, and they completely slowed it down. However, that doesn't really make it good either. Despite it being slowed down and more manageable to, fight in, it's boring and repetitive. There's not much like combos or anything in this game. You can grapple someone and then do an attack like that. You can grab a weapon and whack someone, and you can do strikes. There's not that much depth. You just grab a weapon and then you can just beat the crap out of your opponent. So it's still pretty bare bones, which isn't a good thing for a sequel. I do want to mention the 9 new arenas that are in Backyard Wrestling, because they're unique and they're interesting. You have Backyard, Trailer Park, Pool, Mini Golf, Office, Restaurant, Construction Site, Brewery, Junkyard, and Carnival. Now, what I do like these arenas because they all have unique interactions. Like, you're in the brewery, you can grab a bottle of beer and whack someone in the head. Or if you're in the office, you can grab a computer and throw something at someone. All of them are unique and different, and they all have unique interactions, which is appreciated, and I think it does make the exhibition gameplay a little bit more varied. So I do appreciate that. That's one of the other things I like about the game. So the story. Well, we start out at first with Channel 12 News reporting that there's a new Backyard Wrestling tournament. And Backyard Wrestling Incorporated, yes, they're an actual corporation, will be hosting the first ever tournament. The winner gets $1 million. This poor news reporter has to go and report the news about this tournament. And he gets beat up by New Jack, who actually cuts a promo. And that's the theme here. Let's just get into that, actually. So you get actual wrestling promos from the different locations that you're in. New Jack from the restaurant, the Insane Clown Posse from the carnival, Supreme, I don't even know who that is, but Supreme is at the junkyard or something, I don't know. But the news reporter, throughout the entire campaign, the news reporter just gets beat up by everyone. At the end of the campaign, all of the Backyard wrestlers come into a town and start beating everybody up. The news reporter looks like he just got hit by a freaking Mack truck. And they beat him up again, but then the news reporter finally gets tired of the abuse and he punches Masked Horn Dog in the face. After the tournament concludes, we get a shot of the entire town being burned to the ground, and the game ends with the Backyard Wrestling title being showcased on the screen. That's it. That's the story. I think it's okay. I prefer the first one just because I thought it was more funny, but this one was kind of eh. So in this game, the difference is that you actually have to make a creative wrestler. Unfortunately, you cannot use Shaggy 2 Dope in the tournament, which kind of stinks, but oh well. What is the gameplay of all of this? It's very repetitive. All you do is select a mission, and you pick it. It's grapple this guy, or hit this guy with a weapon, or something like that. And you basically just fight all these guys so you complete your objective and win the match. There's no interesting thing here and there. It's just basically you do 5 matches and then you move on to the next stage. It's very repetitive, and that's my main problem with this game, is that it's incredibly repetitive, especially in the career mode. And you don't even get to play as Andrew WK or whoever on the roster. You have to play as this guy who I created, Bob the Backyard Wrestler. Look at him. He's beautiful, isn't he? He looks great. But yeah, the career mode / story mode is probably worse than the first one just because it's so boring. So let's actually just get into the story mode itself, like the story itself, rather than just the career and what you do in it. So outside of the career mode, there's not much else to talk about, really. They took out like the optional game modes like King of the Hill and Survival, and all you have is just 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 on Exhibition. You can create a wrestler like Bob the Backyard Wrestler over here, but again, it's pretty limited in what you can do. At least you can like, you know, do stuff with logos and stretch it across their face, so that's something, I guess, but it's still pretty limited, which isn't surprising, but still disappointing. That's it. They got a new soundtrack, which is okay, I guess, but there's nothing else here. That's it. Like, this is literally it. There's nothing else to talk about in the game. The only other thing to talk about, really, is these backyard wrestling clips. You can find clips of, like, you know, like music videos of people that are in the game, like Violent J, Shaggy Tudo, Andrew WK, Vampiro, etc. No New Jack, unfortunately, but I can live with that. I honestly find that these backyard wrestling things are actually more entertaining than the actual game itself. And then also, they have a behind-the-scenes thing with the developers, and it's kind of sweet, it's kind of nice, because it does kind of show that these developers cared about their game. Like, they have some heart and soul in here. So I appreciate that, but it still doesn't save it from its, you know... And that's it. That's Backyard Wrestling 2. I guess the final thoughts is that it's not a good game either. You'd think that it would improve from the predecessor, but it doesn't. It's just kind of bad, I guess. It's still not good. It's, you know... But I do appreciate the heart and soul they put into it, and also the fact that this game even exists. I think it's kind of cool that a backyard wrestling game ever existed in the first place, but it still doesn't save it. The music videos and, like, you know, wrestler videos and whatnot, I think are worth watching. I just think they're kind of fun, but it's still not worth it in the game. But yeah, and that's it, everyone. That's Backyard Wrestling. If you watched this whole video, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, blah 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 blah. And yeah, also this is the last time you'll see Juggalo CrimTaker. So that's it, guys. See you later.